in today's headlines. National Assembly discusses science, technology, and nuclear power development. Later on, localities take proactive approach to meet economic targets. Good evening, you're watching today's headlines where we bring you the top stories of the day. This morning, the National Assembly discussed the draft resolution on policies to remove science, technology and innovation obstacles and special mechanisms for the Ninh Thuận nuclear power project. While agreeing with the draft, some deputies suggested adding stricter regulations to ensure accountability and promote the commercial viability of research outcomes. Regarding the Ninh Thuận project, deputies largely supported the draft but proposed solutions for more effective implementation. There were calls to urgently develop the atomic energy law to ensure safety and security in the sector and improve communication and support for local communities. This afternoon, the National Assembly unanimously passed the draft law on amending and supplementing the law on the organization of the National Assembly. The law clarifies the roles of the National Assembly, the government, and state agencies. It defines the scope of issues to be regulated by law and sets principles on the level of detail required. The law also streamlines the National Assembly's structure. The law allows for extraordinary sessions at the request of the state president, the National Assembly Standing Committee, the Prime Minister, or one-third of the deputies to address urgent matters. Now, instead of simply reporting results based on original plans, localities are now required to ensure their economic growth plans are aligned with government targets. These efforts aim to achieve GDP growth of 8% or more this year, and as a result, local authorities must take a more proactive and flexible approach, putting in extra effort to meet these ambitious goals.
Haiphong City revised its growth plans. The focus is on economic zones, industrial zones, and seaports, emphasizing the active involvement of domestic enterprises.
That is being invested in the north creates products. Those products need to go out and the raw materials need to come in. There's only one place that makes logistically sense to do so. That's here, the port of La Cuyenne.
Many localities have proactively developed growth scenarios aiming for over 12%, closely matching the growth targets of each sector.
We have also developed alternative scenarios. For example, if the FDI sector sees a decline, other sectors must compensate for the loss. We plan to expedite the progress of key projects.
To reach the growth target of 12.5%, we will focus on three key pillars: high technology, logistics, and seaport trade services. Additionally, completing infrastructure will be a priority.
The government will continue to address institutional and legal barriers to investment projects. Additionally, businesses will gradually receive lower interest rates as 2% credit growth is expected to contribute to a 1% increase in GDP. These measures will serve as key drivers to achieving the growth target of 8% or more this year.
To meet the 2026 to 2030 economic growth targets, power generation capacity may need to triple. And this update was shared at a consultation workshop on the Adjusted Power Development Plan 8 in Hanoi this morning. 3 revised scenarios for power generation capacity have been developed to align with economic growth forecast. And by 2030, the total power generation capacity will reach 200,000 and 250,000 megawatts. The revised plan also incorporates the Ninh Thuận nuclear power project, which will include 2 plants targeted for completion by the end of 2031. The State Bank of Vietnam has finalized the month-long special control transfer of Đông Á Bank to HD Bank. And today, the bank's management and operation restructuring has been completed and rebranded as Vicky Digital Bank. It also opened transaction at all business locations nationwide. It is the first of Vietnam's new generation digital banks, aiming to establish a super network of branches and transaction offices. These banks will provide banking, financial, investment, insurance, travel, and shopping services according to international standards. Coming up next, tribute paid to those defended the nation's borders. And Phú Quốc welcomes large cruise ships. Now moving on to other news. Every February, the word border evokes special emotions. Today, many events are being held to pay tribute to those who sacrificed their lives to protect the northern border, ensuring the safety of the fatherland.
Early this morning at Dong Dung Fortress, Khao Lak District, Lang Son Province, veterans honored their comrades who, 46 years ago, formed a steel shield to protect the country.
Every year on February 17th, we return to the old battlefield in Dong Dung Fortress to burn incense in memory of our comrades and honor our fallen compatriots.
Echoes of Khao Chia Pass by a veteran medic of Battalion 1, Regiment 567, Phu Qua Khao Chia, writing about the life on the Khao Bang Ha Giang front from 1979 to 1989, has been published.
I wrote this book with the mindset of a soldier who fought. Hundreds, even thousands, of our comrades remain at the border. This book is dedicated to their memory.
Closing the past and moving toward the future doesn't mean we forget, but we take action to prevent it from repeating. The most important thing, I believe, is to build a bridge of friendship to bridge the gap it left in history.
The stories shared this February highlight the Vietnamese people's brave struggle to protect every inch of sacred land. Thousands of soldiers and civilians gave their lives for the fatherland, and none will be forgotten.
This morning, Hanoi began a campaign to vaccinate children from 6 months to under 9 months old in Sơn Tây Town and Hai Bà Trưng District. At Cổ Đông Commune Health Station in Sơn Tây, families have been taking their children for vaccination since early morning. This is the area where 7 cases of measles were recorded, including 5 cases under 9 months old. The children were screened, weighed, and fully consoled before vaccination. Nearly 400 children under 9 months old in the area will be vaccinated this time, and experts are dispatched to ensure proper and safe vaccination rollout. The Nhổn Hanoi Station Metro line has transported nearly 3.4 million passengers in its first 6 months of operation, with over 60% using monthly tickets. This year, the elevated section is expected to operate 80,000 trains and carry over 6.5 million passengers. When the underground section from Cầu Giấy to Hanoi Station opens next year, the line will become an even more attractive option, connecting to the city center and meeting the growing travel demand in Hanoi. In January, Gyeongang's tourism revenue reached nearly $114 million, over 10% of the annual target, thanks to over 126,000 international visitors. The Costa Serena cruise ship, carrying about 2,700 passengers from Thailand, India, and other countries, has berthed at Phú Quốc. Tourists will explore the island's beauty, enjoy local food and shopping, visit various attractions, and experience unique shows and fireworks displays. Another international ship is expected at Phú Quốc this Thursday. The Fire Jumping Festival of the Dao ethnic group has been held in Nậm Det Commune, Lào Province. The festival's highlight is the remarkable bravery of young Dao men, with more than a dozen of them crossing fire with bare feet. Since Lunar New Year, young men aged 12 and above have undergone careful preparation, keeping their bodies and clothes clean, while learning traditional rituals, gnome characters, and proper movements for fire jumping. And as usual, let's move on to the weather forecast. And that's all the news for today's headlines. To rewatch our program, you can download our mobile app, VTVgo, or check out our YouTube channel, VTV4Go. Thank you for watching and see you next time.